Hey guys, what's going on? Baru and Gothalion here again, and we are going to be going through the Digistruct Peak just kind of to give our thoughts and opinions on the loot hunt event, and just kind of go over everything, both what we kind of expected, what could have happened, what they probably did wrong. But let's go ahead and head over here to Gothalion for where are we starting with this, Goth?
I think we should start with the obvious, and that's where they dropped the ball on certain buffs and certain items that they gave us. An example, bandit weaponry. It got a lot of magazine size increase, and I feel like that's like what it needed least. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean the bandit weapons, what they really needed was not so much the bandit magazine, because that's what they're already known for. So increasing it really didn't seem to do much, and all it did was just add to their gimmick that no one really liked. What it needed was accuracy, and they actually gave it accuracy one day, and then took it away. I think it was the day on the Creamer when the tinderbox dropped. They gave it accuracy and critical, which would have gone a long way with it, but instead took it away and gave us more mag size.
Yeah, there's a few things that popped up for a second and then were gone, or like specifically in the way of community goal targets for the day, where we would go in and we would make a video based on what was on the website, and then 20 minutes later the target would change. What was the day where it went from like 100,000 to like a million or something?
It went from 5,000 to 100,000.
Yeah. Yeah. That was the badass racks, right?
That was the badass racks. That was not fun to farm at all. Considering they only had one guaranteed area to spawn in, and that I don't even think they knew about that one. So they just kind of expected us to just naturally find them. Yeah,
and if it had remained at 5,000 or even 10,000, then that would have been acceptable. But no, it's
100,000.
Yeah, that was pretty ridiculous.
We were up. Long time,
up a long time, and we talked about this a lot and joked about it, but we are not even sure if the kills during the main community goals mattered. Like it kind of seemed like a lot of the challenges just sort of auto-completed in the middle of the night.
Yeah, there was this one night where we jumped 20% in the span of 15 minutes. It was doing updates every 15 minutes, going up 1% or so, and then we just get a 20% completion, and they say, oh well, it was just backed up. But I mean, when you look at it, I mean, there were people saying, I have 1,000 kills and I haven't even logged on for today.
What do?
Yeah,
I don't know. It rubs me the wrong way. I really like the event, and I wish this was something that Gearbox did regularly. They don't even need to change weapon statistics, but if there was even like a weekly, hey, this enemy is going to drop this weapon this week, like guaranteed, I feel like that would make people play Borderlands 2 a lot more than they currently do, especially this late in the life cycle of it.
Yeah, and when you think about it, it's really not that hard to just make just an enemy drop an item. And it would really give people a reason to just keep playing, because
why not?
Yeah.
But touching back on the whole, the bad upgrades that they did, and a lot of people will argue that they're buffing the gimmick because that's what the weapon is known for, and if they buff everything where it was weak, then you would have a lot less variety in it. But I mean, I don't feel like that's necessarily true, because the gimmick is still the gimmick, especially on certain legendaries. But just because you make its weak point a little bit stronger doesn't really just make every weapon vanilla, in my opinion.
Exactly, and I mean, they said the reason they did this because they wanted people to use those items, and the buff was supposed to change that, and a lot of the buffs really didn't. I mean, yeah, there's the fastball, and when the item of the day or item of the week dropped, we kind of expected a fastball from the Skull Masher, but instead we got nothing. Then you look at the Skyrocket, and it's the Skyrocket. They doubled its damage, so now it's almost as good as a basic Vladoff. almost, and its explosion radius is bigger, so now it might hit something with half of its blast.
Yeah, maybe hit something. I don't know.
And that's if you like get the angle perfect on it, or you can just throw a green exterminator flat off grenade mod and do more damage.
A lot of this brings me back to feeling like, does Gearbox even know their game that well? You know, they're giving these off buffs, and they're giving like weird, like you said, the blast radius on the skyrocket got increased, but it's already really difficult to hit something. And whenever something off happens, Gearbox always goes back to this pretty much copy-paste excuse of, you know, it didn't meet the vision for the game. You know, and that's kind of like what they used when Kunai got changed, and you know, they said it didn't meet our vision for Kunai, but it's like, what is their vision? You know, that's what we want to know, because there's a lot of stuff that is just straight up, this combination is broken. It's really the only combination worth using, and people sort of feel like cornered into using these weapon combos because it's the only viable solution. You know, like you did Digistruct without a B because people said it couldn't be done, but was it fun?
Yeah, you can do it. It's fine, but it's kind of tedious. It took me much longer, and the enemies just regen the health.
Yeah.
But it's possible. You can do it.
Right. And the deeper we get into this whole, I'm starting to see Borderlands 2 as more of an experiment than anything. I feel like we're losing a lot of the fun, and because you know, we went into it and there was even videos where Randy talked about like fall damage. That video, he's like, fall damage was taken out because, well, is fall damage fun? And it's like, no, Randy, fall damage isn't fun. Thank you for removing it. But you know what? Enemies regenning their health while I'm shooting them in the face, that's not fun. That's not a good time. And if you're going to rebalance things, then rebalance it for the better, not for the irrelevant.
Yeah. Because I mean, like, yeah, we're not having any issues murdering these guys, but best way to make something difficult is through mechanics, not through just increasing how long you have to shoot them in the face for. Yeah, that's one way you can do it to kind of balance out the overpowered gear, but making the enemies harder because you have overpowered gear does not help the game, because you're just making that gear what you need to use.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, they expect people to refarm all their gear on every OP level. And I feel like, you know, like when Borderlands 2 first came out, I wasn't a huge supporter of gun crafting because I didn't feel like that was part of Borderlands. But after playing through the game for a year, you almost feel like Gibbed is a part of the game, because there's no option to upgrade your gear. You know, like for maybe just for the OP levels, like why wasn't that actually in game? Because the amount of time and tedium it takes to kill these OP level bosses and get the gear that you want again, it stops being fun and it starts being daunting. So why didn't they give Iridium a legitimate use and be like, okay, well, it takes 500 Iridium to upgrade one weapon to your current OP level? Like, why would that have hurt? Is my question.
Or even like just up it by one OP level.
Yeah.
Even then, I would have been fine, because then it would be like, well, here's a legitimate way to get you finally got that perfect Norfleet from Verm, and now you can bring it with you. It'll take a while for you to bring it up to your current OP level, but it's yours now.
Yeah, exactly. And so people could viably go farm on OP0 for their gear, so they wouldn't feel like they're backed into a corner to fight OP8 Veracitus for an OP8 interfacer.
Yeah, that's one thing we want to, like, we know the mobs. You don't need the best of the best to take the mobs out, obviously. But we are referring to things like Terra. OP8 Terra, unless you're throwing everything you got at him, he will enrage.
Yeah.
You will hit the black hole phase, and unless you're using Pride Rock to glitch the fight out, you will die.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. But we're kind of getting off base. Baharu and I go off on rants, but that's fine.
We do. But getting back to refarming stuff, they ended up breaking the slow hand for some reason.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure how that managed to happen.
Do you think it was a memory issue with that DLC? Like, they couldn't make another enemy drop a different weapon? Like, I don't know.
I don't think so, because, I mean, the Cobra and the thing are from the same DLC.
Yeah, so all they had to do was add, like, I assume, a few lines of code to make the Cobra drop from Badassosaurus Rex.
But in return, for everyone losing their slow hands, you get to go fight the most pain-in-the-ass boss ever. But now he has a 100% chance to drop.
Yeah.
So, if you manage to get a perfect slow hand, now you have to go back and farm him and possibly get a critical.
Yeah.
Why does that even? Why is there a critical slow hand?
I hate that. It's so fucking ridiculous. I love the slow hand, though. It's hands down my favorite shoddy in the game.
And speaking of shoddies, one day they make the Orphan Maker drop, and this was a perfect opportunity to buff the Orphan Maker, which is not that bad of a shotgun, but could have used like an extra pellet or so. Or maybe they could have buffed Jacob's shotguns, which are severely lacking in UVHM because of the non-elemental, but they buff Hyperion accuracy. Hyperion pistol accuracy.
I don't know.
Of all the things that Hyperion doesn't need, it's accuracy.
I feel like for the loot hunt, they just had a dartboard, and they just threw shit at it. And it said, okay, well, in this day, we'll upgrade this, and this, and this, and then they went along with it.
I'd believe it.
The upgrade dartboard.
The upgrade dartboard.
I don't know. I more and more feel like they don't understand their own game. Just because of reasons like that. And I don't feel like their marketing department has a good handle on what they really could have done with this loot hunt event. And, like, they could have drove sales for the next DLC, and they just plopped it down in October, and it overlapped Jacques DLC, which I felt like wasn't the best of choices. But now it's over, and we don't have the next DLC on board yet, and I feel like that's maybe a mistake.
Could have probably started it either the day after Jacques, and they would have lined up pretty much perfectly.
Yeah,
you
more
would
or
have
less.
everyone into the game already from the Shock-O-Lantern DLC. Everyone's playing. Then as soon as the loot hunt ends, you've got Turkey.
Yeah, exactly. But now there's like this lull of content, and I feel like that's going to hurt sales for the next DLC, the Waddle Gobbler, unless it has some new loot in it or something. But, you know, Jacques didn't have new loot. And I feel like Gearbox should have learned their lesson from Borderlands 1 DLC, where if it doesn't have new loot, people are going to be a little upset at it. You know, like, we got some new heads and skins, and I understand it was only a $3 DLC, but it should have had a new weapon, you know, something.
They actually found a pumpkin launcher in the coding.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, we found pumpkin launcher. You can't make it spawn because sanity checks, but it's in there.
Can't CE get past sanity checks?
No, it's not allowing you to spawn.
Oh,
we think it's just Jacques' thing, like kind of like how Guy's launcher.
Yeah,
Jacques'
that makes
hand
sense.
or something
Yeah.
stupid.
Yeah, that makes sense. I don't know. But if there's no new loot in the Waddle Gobbler, I think it's gonna be hurt a lot by the basic feeling towards the loot hunt and how a lot of people were pretty unhappy with the end results of it, and I think it could really hurt the next DLC. So it makes me really curious about, you know, their marketing department and whether or not they have a really firm grasp on, like, what the fuck they're doing. Like, I don't want to be rude about it, but, like, what's really going on there, you know?
Yeah, I mean, Jacques had quite a bit of hype going around it, and
yeah, I feel like it was wasted.
It was kind of wasted, and now that Waddle Gobbler doesn't really have any of this hype at all, it's just going to drop one day.
Yeah, people don't even really know about it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, there are people who just are oblivious to certain things.
Yeah.
They don't follow it as much as we do. It's not going to reach them.
I worry that that Gearbox is watching their forums as the main source of what is and isn't working.
That can't be healthy.
No, it can't. You know, like if if they are gonna watch anything, it should be like straight up Max channel, because that's the general audience. Like the more casual player isn't like really getting this information. You know?
No, they're not. And like our channels, like we have the dedicated people, the ones that are just gonna roll with whatever Gearbox decides to throw at us. Which they're making it harder to roll with it.
Yeah, they're making it much more difficult to roll with it. Oh, we don't get a Saturn on OP6. Sad.
Clearly we have to redo it.
Clearly.
But anyway, back onto Loot Hunt. So they did finally make the Cobra drop, which was nice, but what about making the Grog nozzle drop? What was the point of that?
I don't know.
One of the things was, like, if people didn't want Grog nozzles in their game, all they had to do was just not accept the quest, but now Grog nozzle is it's a legitimate item now.
Yeah, it's a
and
legitimate
if you don't
item.
want it in your game, tough luck.
Though Grog nozzle is pretty much an essential piece of gear at the upper OPs.
Well, not essential, but it's more of a tool, why wouldn't you use it type deal.
Yeah, I suppose.
Instructors actually run off a similar technology to
At least
you
for
just-
melee it's super essential, because the
for
Ruby,
melee, yeah.
Ruby does not heal you enough most of the time.
Especially when you're fighting Veracitus and he's health gating you every attack.
Every attack, super fun. And even still, sometimes a Grog nozzle falls behind, but that's another thing. That goes back to balancing, and I don't know, they really could have balanced weapons better. Much better. I don't know. Come on, Gearbox.
I don't know why they didn't, like, not a single buff went to Jacobs this whole week. Not a single buff went to them. And they're the one manufacturer that hurts the most in UVHM. But I don't know if they're like balancing around
Normal mode?
like normal mode? Is that how they're doing their balance?
No, that can't be, because when you beat normal mode, it says the real game begins now.
to meet a vault hunter.
And then when you beat that, it says the real game.
Yeah,
So
it's,
they intend for UVHM to be the real game.
yeah. It's right there in game language, so you know they coded it to say that. It was not an accident.
So
yeah.
if this is their real game, why do they not make this more useful?
Because they wanted the real game to be, you know, grog nozzles and bee hawking and
Need incentive to
shamflating, evidently.
wells. Just imagine them as walking pinatas full of gum.
Even though shamflating not that great.
No,
anymore.
shamflating is not that great. Unless you're playing Gage, but then it's Gage.
Then it's Gage. Gage doesn't count.
That's the sort.
Over there, derping. We got him. Shock dot. But yeah, man, I don't know. Is there anything else we missed on as far as loot hunt? I mean, we do have a general disdain for a lot of the ways they handled it. A lot of it was good, and you know, I feel like they could have continued beyond it and had weekly events for you guys. We already covered that. You know, it's not all bad news from the loot hunt, but it's definitely not mostly good news. I mean, they missed the boat on a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it's not that we're hating on Gearbox, not at all, but we just so many things could have been done better.
Yeah, I feel like before they went into this event, it would have been beneficial to poll their communities, you know, like really see what people were looking for from items and the general balance of the game. I mean, even as, you know, quote unquote hardcore players, I feel like people within even the forums and hardcore communities could have given them some insight on what the more casual players would have wanted. I don't know.
Right now, it's just, well, we already know what OP8 looks like,
Yeah.
especially when you're fighting bosses.
Yeah, it's damage heal, damage heal, damage heal, or you don't play. It's the damage heal meta game is pretty much what Borderlands 2 becomes in UVHM plus. You know, there's no other way around it. I mean, unless you are playing some other game within Borderlands that I have not played yet, that's what it is. You are going to damage, and then you're going to have to use a Moxie weapon or a grenade to heal. Otherwise, you're going to be moving at a snail's pace through the game.
Pretty much. But anyway, that's pretty much covered everything that we want to go over in this whole loot hunt deal. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you guys in the next video.
See ya.
Later.